3 up, 2 across, tap that play button 3 times, and walk through the archway into Dialogue Alley. Hello, and welcome to Dialogue Alley, a podcast all about Harry Potter books, book translations, and all other things magical. I'm Melanie.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Erik.
And welcome to our podcast. The 3 of us are Harry Potter book translation collectors. What does that mean? Well, let me tell you, if this is your first time here, we collect Harry Potter books in all different languages from all over the world. There are lots and lots and lots of them. So we have them, we talk about other things about Harry Potter books. We talk about other things having to do with Harry Potter. Sometimes we talk about the movies, not often. It's mostly about the books. Here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, so today is season 4, episode 4 of our podcast. And on this episode, our news is kind of like our main segment. Like, part of our news is part of our main segment. And this kind of goes off of something that we talked about 2 episodes ago, which was the MinaLima curse. Oh my God, I almost said Cursed Child. That would have been merging 2 episodes that we did, and I don't think that they would.
Worlds collide. Worlds collide.
I know, that would have been crazy. Last episode, or 2 episodes ago, we talked about the MinaLima Chamber of Secrets Illustrated Edition. And last week, Prisoner of Azkaban came out. So we're going to take a big on look into this book today, which I'm pretty excited about. So that's like...
Because it's great. It's great, and we waited so long to talk about book 2.
We did, and then we're just rushing right on into book 3. Couldn't help ourselves.
Well, because I don't want to make that mistake again. I don't want to leave book 3 for like a year.
No, I'm so excited
because it's awesome.
about it.
I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it right now.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So the news, I got some book mail.
I want to know, what'd you get?
I got
What did you get, Carly?
the giant German book. It's now at my house.
Yes.
I need it.
And then the latest Croatian books that came out are also at my house.
Which ones?
So I think 4 and 5.
4 and 5 came out at this point too. I feel like we never mentioned that.
I thought we did. I don't know. My book mail came from Terrell, and I haven't opened the box yet because it came and then I had to leave. Well, it came and I had to leave, and now we're podcasting. So, I mean, I could open it live on the air and tell you what exactly I got, but I know what I paid for. So I'm assuming it's those things.
Oh,
hopefully.
But
maybe there'll be a free bag of tea in there too.
But for sure, it's the giant German book. I don't know if the other Croatians have made it to Terrell's house yet, but I know for sure that one.
Wait. How many Croatians are out so far? Is
I
it 1
think
through 5?
Yeah, I think so.
My in-laws are literally going to Dubrovnik like next week, so I have 1, 2, and 3, I think. So if 4 and 5 are out, I'm gonna ask them to get them for me, because I'm sure that they'll be able to find
saves on
those.
shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say shaves on sipping.
Shaves on
which
sipping.
does not make
New band
shaves
name.
on sipping. Everybody, you can also shave. No, I can't say the real one. You can also save on shipping.
Also, I would like to point out the postman pitched the book box at my door, and it hit the glass door, and it drove my dog bonkers. Like, he just took it and, like,
that seems a tad aggressive.
Granny balled it. It was kind of frustrating because I saw him do it. I was standing there, and I was like, well, why, though?
Huh. Now I don't know
So
where my Croatian books are. They're somewhere in this room.
I have 1 through 3 right
know.
now.
I have 1 through 3, but if 4 and 5 are out, can you send me pictures of 4 and 5 so I can send the pictures to my in-laws and say, hey, when you're in Dubrovnik, get me these books.
Do you want me just to... I'm curious now what's in my book box.
Just go get it. Why don't you just go get it and we'll just open it.
It's honestly just right here.
Well, while you're opening, we can mention that the Almanac is out. Remember this one?
Yes.
Yeah, the Wizarding Almanac.
I feel like it's one of those things that we've talked about wanting for like forever to come out.
Forever.
And it's the first official companion, like Wizarding companion book.
Yes. This was honestly what I think most fans thought we were getting when they teased what eventually became Pottermore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
When
Yeah,
they
I
said,
think
"Hey,
that-
we're going to come out with this this encyclopedia, almanac, visual companion to the books," we all thought that was going to be a book, which it turns out it was an interactive website, which had a lot of cool exclusive content on it. But
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
at this point, most of that content has made its way into a printed book in some form or another, especially through those house editions. They really pumped a lot of like backstory
Yeah, but
for
I
the
remember
founders in there.
reading like the backstory of Ilvermorny on Pottermore, and
Yeah,
that
there's
being
stuff
a
they haven't
huge-
used yet for
that
sure.
was a huge story,
here!
so I don't
Sorry,
know where
guys.
that ended up. All right, let's.
I don't
let's
either.
see
So
that.
hopefully,
I just got
maybe
so
it's in this
excited.
almanac. Who knows? All right, Carly, what did you get?
It's so wonderful. Here's book 5.
All right, so that's book
Isn't that
5.
beautiful? Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my goodness, it's so green.
Ooh, that's really nice.
My camera's on, Eric. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh well,
Blinded by the
I
beautiful
can't
cover.
see
Blinded by the
Carly's
book.
screen.
Blinded by the book beauty.
Apparently,
I can mess with my camera and turn it on and off, but it's on.
I see
that's
her.
fine.
See,
I trust
Melanie.
Melanie's.
I see her.
Oh, there it is. Now I see you. Hold it up
Oh.
again. Oh, that is green. That's great. I like that
I
color palette a
know.
lot.
And then here is, but what I really like are like how different they are. Like this is 4, this is
Yep.
5. I like how different
they're
They really are.
Yeah,
really
and
are
I like
just
the
very
moments
different.
on
It's
the
still-
covers.
It still
Oh
reminds
my
me of the German
goodness.
Rainbow set, only because it's like they're very different. You put 2 next to each other, and they look totally different.
No, I agree
Yet
with that.
still part of the same set.
I agree with that. And of course, I got the German book, which I'm super that's a box that it came in, man.
So mine came in a box that was in a box.
Yeah,
Box
they
within a
weren't
box.
they
Box
weren't
within
messing
a box.
around.
It was like the secret box.
I put this box in another box, but to save on postage,
Aha.
I love
We'll
that
poison him
movie.
with this. I do too. But I was
The
referencing Patrick Starr's secret box,
Look.
Oh yeah, I know.
which has an embarrassing photo of SpongeBob at the Christmas party.
party.
Ah.
Oh my goodness. Like
It's massive.
Isn't that book just
It's so
delightful,
pretty.
Carly? Look at that thing.
Oh my god.
it's the heavyful.
It's
Because there's
gosh.
nothing light about it.
Nope.
Look.
It's great.
It's
It is
beautiful.
such
Oh
a
my
cool book.
word.
Melanie, yours will be with you soon.
And the cover feels,
get
I
one
can't wait
soon.
for Melanie to talk about the cover because the cover is phenomenal.
I know.
We're
it's
gonna
really
we're gonna
great.
do
I mean,
a
it's
whole
it's
episode
a
on
Carlson
that book when I finally get it.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we
Yes, we are.
Okay, so that was
It's
my
almost like
book
we're
mail
doing a whole-
opening.
Yay.
Fantastic. I was going to say, it's almost like we're about to do a whole episode about a different book.
So yeah, I think that's the news.
Yeah. Well, the last bit of news is the fact that the MinaLima Prisoner of Azkaban is out, and we're going to talk about the
Yeah.
whole thing for our main segment.
So, for the main segment, we are going to be talking about the MinaLima illustrated edition of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Melanie said we're going to be talking about everything. We're not. We're not going page by page on
The
this thing.
highlights,
But we could.
guys.
But we are going
I
to...
actually found a favorite page.
Well, that's good, because I think what I want to mainly talk about is just our general impression of the overall book first, and then each maybe highlight a moment in this book that was, I was going to say awesome, but I mean, one that stood out to us. Like, what's one moment that stood out? I don't think I'm going to pick, like, the coolest one, I think, but I'm going to pick one that I definitely think stands out to me after the first time I flipped through it. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Your overall impressions, like, on, like...
I mean,
just the book itself.
overall, it stands up to what we've come to know and love for these MinaLima illustrated editions, for sure. I feel like there's something on every page, whether it's something interactive or if it's just a small illustration or a big illustration, or there's something on every single page. So I feel like that makes it so interactive without every single page having to be interactive, if that makes sense.
I would
Absolutely.
agree.
And we'll mention this in the tots, but much like the previous two, just the page color in general, looking like that aged parchment, just makes every page fun, even if it has nothing on it besides the borders
so
and
well
the fun
thought out.
page.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, one of you two said it last episode about book 2. It feels like you're holding a prop for a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it has to be said, and this is one of my favorite things about these books, and I said it when we recorded the other episode, is just the fact that MinaLima's imagery that we see in the movies is so iconic and so recognizable, and you picture a chocolate frog card in your head, and it's MinaLima's image of what a chocolate frog card was in the movies. And yet they were able to transform into a completely different medium with these books, take inspiration, I would say, from what they did in the movies, but still give completely different artwork and completely different imagery for these iconic images, like a time turner, like the Marauders map, which we finally get to see. That was one of the things I was most excited to see in here. And the Marauders map is one of their most iconic pieces of graphic design work that they've done. So to see that done in the book, still done by them, but done in a completely different way, is just unbelievable.
I would have loved the HBO remake to be in the style of their illustrations of this iteration of Harry Potter and the gang. That would have been really cool.
I have
They
to
just
say,
have so much talent.
Yeah. Of the three, I think this is my favorite. I think I really love the book cover color, like that dark teal. Mm-hmm. Like,
yes.
I was so excited to see that. And I know we'll get more into it in the tots, but that's just my overall, like, flip through the book. And I feel like with book 1, a little bit with book 2, they're still kind of figuring out how they wanted to take things in a different direction. And now I feel like they know how they're going to take things in a different direction and keep on with the style that we're seeing here, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I really appreciate not only the consistency that they've created, but also how differently familiar it is. And also it just feels like they've really settled into that.
I just found something that's going to be my X factor, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. And we still have so much. No, you guys are never going to get it. Oh. And I'm very excited about it.
Okay.
And we still have so much to talk about with this book. All right, Eric, what would you say is like your favorite little moment in this?
Okay, well, I should mention that if you haven't looked through this and you don't want spoilers, skip this episode. I guess stop now. Because I mean, we're going to talk about things that happen in this book. So if you want to be completely surprised, don't listen to me talk anymore. But I was really torn between 3, and I bet you could probably guess what at least one of them is. But I'm going to go with like way towards the end, and it's on page 440 and 441.
I bet I know what
it's
one
a
it
double
is.
spread, full illustration of the Patronus at the lake.
Oh yeah.
In the time
that
scene,
is like,
and it's just the lake, and you open up just this like innocent looking flap, and it is just this metallic, shiny, shimmery, splendid Princess Jasmine and Aladdin on the magic carpet. No, not them, but it reminded me of the song. It's Harry's stag Patronus, and it's just so splendid. And what I particularly like about this is I don't remember seeing this sort of metallic medium in either of the first 2 books. So I really, really love how MinaLima somehow come up with like new ideas to fit into these books that still surprise me, even though, after just 2 volumes, I'm like, well, what else could they possibly do? It's a book-sized book with illustrations in there, and it can't cost like a ton of money because it has to be accessible. So with budget in mind, what can they do that's cool and different than previous books to make people want to get it? And that's a great example, that metallic stag. It's just splendid. I thought it was so cool and unexpected. That's what I love about these. When you like turn a page, or you open a flap and it's something that you had no idea was coming, or just took you by surprise. So
I would agree with that.
Awesome.
I was super, like, when I saw that, I was like, it kind of took my breath away. It was different than anything we'd seen before.
Yeah, I think that was something that you mentioned last time, Eric, how like they still managed to do things that surprise us, and now we're on book 3 here, and they still are doing it. Like, we're still picking this up and finding something new, and are like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? And it just, the magic that is in this book is just absolutely unreal. Carly, what would you say is your favorite?
Well, other than that one that Eric picked, because there's a lot of elegance there. Like, the others are cartoonish, they're bright, they're vivid. That one is very elegant and very different from kind of the rest of the artwork, which I actually like how they did that. And that's my little thing there. Otherwise, I really, I'm still, this is kind of cliche, but I love a good map. So I'm going to say the Marauders map pull out.
That was in my top 3. There's no shame in that. It is so
zero
cool.
Shame. Well, also
And,
because
like, the
it
little
has
tab-
like
the
the
tabs you can
interactive
move in there.
tabs.
I know.
And it makes it seem like Mrs. Norris is moving.
I know. Like, you can follow them through the map. And it's so well done. Dumbledore, too. And I don't know. I love the Marauders map anyway. I've got several different ones on my shelves of different sizes. So it's not surprising that would be something I'd choose. But I wanted something a little bit different because there's so many other good stuff in here. But I think I think that I'm going to have to go with that.
I think what's awesome about that too, and it like goes along with what we were saying before, is the Marauders map is so iconic. It's so recognizable. Here they were able to make it still recognizable, obviously because they're the designers of it, but it's still different. It's still different enough. It's a different color palette.
They rendered it differently. It's
absolutely.
Well, and can I say, this is maybe a controversial take here. I did not like the movie version of the Marauders map, and then in turn the ones you can buy, like the official ones. I don't like that, like, the boundaries of everything is written in words.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Where
kind
it's
of like
like
that.
hallway, 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 hallway. I don't particularly love that. And
It's
I
busy.
didn't also like, it's dizzy. Yeah. And I also did not like how the ones that you can buy, like they have like weird like slinky fold out parts that just kind of like go in all which way. I don't like that. To me, the map was just like you hold it like a map. And I don't know how the one in the book is supposed to look to cover all the floors, but I would imagine it more of like, here's floor 1, here's floor 2, here's floor 3, here's floor 4, and they're each, have little people moving around on them. But that's how this one in this book looks like to me. It looks like a map with walls and doorways, and
I kind of imagined it like the one in the movie, if I'm being honest, because it fits the Hogwarts chaos style. Like, if you've got rotating staircases, why can't you have a map that's weird? So I actually love that one, but I also understand that I would never want to use a map like that either. Like, looking at it is great. I would never want to use it. Like, if I were going to use it, I'd definitely pick the one in the book over the one in the movie.
I think we just agree that the maps are great. The map. The map
is great. I actually do love maps. I have a giant, 6-foot by 4-foot canvas of an old world map hanging up in my living room right now. I love maps.
Maps are great.
They are.
Okay, so Carly picked the map. I picked the Patronus. Melanie, what was a highlight for you?
I mean, I feel like mine is also a bit cliche. But the first thing that I had to see in this book before I looked at the map was the night bus. It had to be the night bus.
I love the night bus.
I'm so happy that it ended up being a little interactive bit. It's a full page spread. And then you see these advertisements and things on the side of the night bus, but then the whole thing opens up and you see the pure chaos that's going on. Like, there's someone taking a shower and this guy is trying to sleep and there's plants growing. And then there's just Harry chilling, trying to read a newspaper, frogs jumping down the stairs. It's one of those things that the more that you look at it, the more things you kind of see. But I am just so happy with how it was done. It just feels very, very magical. I like that when you first look at it, you see Harry with Stanch on Pike, Harry's sitting on the ground. And then when you open it up, it blocks that part. And then that's when you see Harry talking to Stan inside. It's just very, very well done. And yeah, I mean, there are a few others that I really liked as well, but that one definitely stood out. Even just the illustrations are so beautiful, and I feel like this book, I mean, I could be wrong in this, but I feel like this book has more full page illustrations that I'm noticing, a lot more. There's
I was
one
actually
with
curious how many full page illustrations are in this one versus others, because I feel like this one has a bunch.
Yeah, I don't know. We would have to pull them side to side, but this one has a lot. I feel like every so often I'm flipping through. I'm oop, there's another. Oh, there's another one. And they're beautiful. So yeah, love them.
You guys understand? Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, do you understand the Bogart illustration? Oh, all the doors open, not just the left one. Now I understand.
Yeah.
I get it now. And then Snape's in the middle with the funny clothes on. Yeah. No, that's great. Everything is amazing.
I like the Bogart one too.
I just can't, you can't express just talking about this book how great it is, because it really is something that you have to hold and interact with in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that we said with the last one too. These books are so just meant to be read and held and opened and experienced, which is really awesome.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So should we rate this book then?
Yeah. Surprise! It's also the tots.
Which means translation of the show, if this is your first time. Melanie, you always mention in the intro that it could be your first time.
I did. Which, if it is, welcome. Hi. How are you? I hope you like what you're listening to so far. If not, thank you for listening 25 minutes into our podcast and sticking with us this far. Even if you didn't like us, you still listened for 25 minutes and you heard this whole spiel. Yeah, let's talk about this book as the translation of the show.
Perfect.
All right, so, surprise, the translation of the show is the book that we were just talking about. It is the illustrated MinaLima edition of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Surprise!
Hardcover, one book.
I know.
One
Everyone
book.
is shell-shocked.
One volume.
One volume. I think we may need to specify all of these books because there are quite a few books that come in multiple volumes.
You're
Yeah.
not wrong.
We did a whole episode about it. It was a rather enjoyable episode, too.
But this is a good one-volume book.
Yes. So, let's quick talk about how we got our copies. I pre-ordered mine on Amazon, and it came in my mailbox the day it was released. Surprise.
I got mine at
Not
my local
exciting.
Barnes & Noble the day it was released. And I actually waited I was going to pre-order. I decided not to. I wanted to go to my Barnes & Noble because I wanted to see all the books there. Because there's just something about seeing and smelling them in the store that I had to do. So that's why I did it that way.
I got mine at Target on my way home from work, which usually I go to Barnes & Noble on my lunch break. But I've had a few really crazy days at work. I haven't been able to get out on my lunch break. So I went to Target and was surprised that I saw book 1, book 2, no book 3. And I had to go searching up and down looking for book 3. I found 2 copies of it, and then I took the one that I got, and then I put the other copy next to book 1 and 2 so other people would be able to find it.
As you should.
That was nice.
Right.
As they should have done.
Right. I know.
Right?
Should not have been that difficult to find. But here it is.
Man. Here it is. And rarity, it's not rare.
No.
Go buy it new right now.
Rarity, no. Negative.
But price.
Rarity?
Price.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, not even rare. Price, though, the sticker price on mine is $39.99 US dollars. But I definitely pay less than that on Amazon. Target usually has these on sale.
Yep.
Yeah.
20% off.
Costco, Carly mentioned, sells them. Sam's Club probably sells them too. I don't think you will have to pay $39.99.
But if you did, it's well worth it.
Right, but if you did, that's what the book is worth according to the back of the book.
Yep. Very good book.
Yep.
Worth it.
Very good book. Go get one. Go get the first 2. They're just really great. Spoiler, this book is awesome. So let's go through the old scale. So the first thing that we always do is we open up the book and we smell it with our noses.
Instead of our eyes.
Well, or your feet. Butterflies smell with, no, they taste with their feet. They
Yep.
smell with their tongue thing.
Ooh.
I really like mine.
I agree. This is an outstanding for me.
I would also agree with you. I think it's an outstanding.
Yeah.
It definitely smells.
I think it smells very sweet and like almost like something that you'd want to eat.
No.
Yeah, and I've smelled
mine
inky
doesn't.
pages and non-inky pages, and they both have that wonderful sweet smell to them.
Yeah, it smells like a tasty treat.
It
Mine
does.
smells like a
I don't
balloon.
think- But I don't think MinaLima
What was
has
wrong with your
yet
Target?
to do the edible part of the book experience.
Wait,
do
I'm
not
gonna go-
lick this picture of the candy.
I'm going to go to the Honeydukes pages. Because there are
The
Honeydukes
snozberries
pages.
taste like snozberries.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to give it... I'll give it an exceeds expectations. It definitely has a smell. I'm not sure how much I love it. But I appreciate that it does smell like something.
I
There you
would
go.
love to smell your book because I think it must smell different to me and Eric's. Because mine is
don't
what
know.
mine almost smells like the back end of a candy store. You know, where they have all their sweet stuff in the jars.
Exactly.
That's what mine
yep.
smells like. Is kind of like what I would have think Honeydukes would have smelled like, or something like that. So I was
that's what I
pleasantly
thought too.
surprised. So if yours doesn't smell like that, I think you should lemon law it and get a new one.
Well, I have to get new ones anyway because I do want to get the signed copy, but this one that I have is definitely going to be like my reader copy. I've already
definitely,
like,
yeah. This
it
smells
definitely smells.
but it smells so different than the first two. Like, definitely.
Squidward smells
Good.
good. Moving on, the size and proportions of this book, to me, and I just held the Chamber of Secrets one in my hand right before this, it does not seem that different than Chamber of Secrets. Now, it does feel a little bit different from Sorcerer's Stone, which makes sense. This book is bigger. But I think if you were naturally just like reading the second one and put that one down and picked up the third one, you would have a very similar like size and proportion experience. It's not that much thicker. I'm still wondering what books 4 and 5 are going to look like.
Yeah, oh my God, they're going to be massive.
Yeah, so, I mean, there is already a massive amount of content in here. Like, the middle kind of bulges out, and then, like, towards the corners, it starts to taper down a bit. And that's not because the book is defective. It's just because of, it's everything inside is not flat. It moves around. So, for what it's worth, it still feels like a book that you would pick up and read. So size and proportions wise, I think it's an outstanding. I don't know how they fit all this amazing stuff yet again into a book that you can just hold in your hands like a normal size book.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Outstanding for me.
Yeah, I would give it an outstanding. I feel like the way that they were able to kind of jam pack everything into this book and it still be the size and proportions that it is. And
it's a stout binding.
Wonderful.
Like, they had to really bind this very well.
And it definitely is. Like, you can see how like reinforced that the binding is. So we'll talk about that in quality, but size and proportions, I would give it an outstanding.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Awesome. But how does this book feel in your hands? Carly, why don't you go first this time?
I love how this book feels in my hand. I love how, so it's an outstanding for me. Very, very simple. I like how the covers are textured. Like, I like to run my fingers over it. The front and back are textured, but also, like, there's a lot of gold on the front, but it doesn't feel like it's going to just flake off. So I feel like I can handle the book safely and it'll be fine. I really love how it feels in my hand. I love that tremendously. So it's an outstanding. It's one of the easiest outstandings I've given.
Yeah, I also love how it feels in your hands. I like that the parts that are just the standard book, like the back where it has the writing, that part itself is textured. Like it's like a bumpy texture. It's not smooth. It has texture to it. I don't know, but it's just lovely. You could just tell how much thought went into every little detail about it, and I feel like that leaves it feeling wonderful in your hands. And also, not to mention the fact that when you flip through the book, it's so interactive. You're literally feeling this book with your hands constantly. Like, that's part of the experience. So I feel like it ends up being an outstanding because of that.
Yeah.
You've covered all of the talking points and left me with nothing but to just agree with you that I also think it is outstanding.
That's good.
Our next category is the quality of the book. Melanie, why don't you go ahead? You almost gave away too much.
I almost did. Almost went there. I mean, the qualities, if there was a phenomenal, if P stood for phenomenal instead of poor, really is so
We'll
wonderful.
just make an
Dividing-
F. We'll make an F for phenomenal. And it's like but we'll spell it like a fun spell, like phenomenal.
Phenomenal. I don't know.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be still silly. I feel like everything is thought about when it comes to the quality of these books. The boards are so thick. The spine is so thick. It has to be because it has so much content that it's holding. Everything is like glued into perfection, and the details that are put into this just make this so high quality, so worth it. It almost feels like a leather-bound book without it being leather-bound, if that makes sense.
It does. I was actually thinking the same thoughts.
Yeah, so quality is an absolute outstanding.
Agree.
I agree. I don't think we mentioned this before in terms of quality, but I did want to say it here that what really speaks to the quality for me is it comes with all of these little cardboard protectors and tissue paper protectors. Anything that's a fold out or an interactive page or anything with like even just like a little lift the flap comes with extra little pieces of thick paper or tissue paper just to make sure that all of the moving parts, so to speak, arrive like pristine. So they did not have to do that, but they did, which really to me shows that if you're spending, more than a normal book price on a book like this, you should be getting quality of this caliber. So yeah, outstanding for me. I just really am very impressed with everything about this book in terms of quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever actually talked about the little tissue paper things, but yeah, it's just so much attention to detail, and protecting your investment is just built into the book, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So this is a fun one always, but the cover art interpretation of cover art, I will start by saying the template that is being used for these MinaLima books is the same. So the cool part about it, in my opinion, is how they make it look very, very similar. But if you look closer, it's very, very different, which I just think is so exciting. So, for example, on the front cover, it's still that classic shiny gold border around the outside with a picture on the inside. But the border is different than the previous two books. The borders always contain these really tiny details with really well-chosen little images that represent parts of the book. And
it's like artifacts.
One example I want to point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is like, oh, there you go. It's like artifacts. A particularly enjoyable detail on the cover for me is the sides. Like if you were to, like put your thumbs on the book, like right on the sides in the middle of the archway, it looks like this was in like the Shrieking Shack. Like the animals were in there like bashing around, and it broke the little spindles that hold up the upper archway, and they're kind of like boarded together with just 2x4s and nails. I got that image immediately in my head of like the Shrieking Shack, what it would look like just by looking at the front of this book and seeing that tiny detail. So really the moments that were chosen to go on the front, I think are really spectacular. So top that. Do you have anything else you have to say about the cover? Just kidding.
Honestly.
I mean, I love the juxtaposition.
Oh,
It's
there's a
been a
buzzword.
It's been a while.
I know.
Wow.
But actually, there is some really nice things that they've done with the color palette, right? Like we have the nice shifting from the purple, the pink to the blue, green, teal, all the way down. And then you have this bright, vivid moon. And of course, the white of, Buckbeak and Harry and Hermione. It's very well done. It's for being smaller figures, they're very distinct. Like you can actually clearly make out what's going on. And I appreciate that. You can still see
Harry's scar. Like Harry's on there. He's so tiny, but you could still make out his scar on his head.
I know.
Which is the size of like a pencil point.
Exactly. So I think that because they're able to still do that clearly, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, anything, I obviously I'm giving an outstanding as well. I think everything that Erik said about like the little details, I have Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner right in front of me, and just looking from little detail to detail. Chamber has a lot of more geometric patterning where there's diamond shapes, whereas this has more like floral shapes on it, and just the little things. Oh, there's a little teeny piece of candy and a little hourglass, like things that it's another one of those. The more you look at it, the more you see even more detail, and nothing is missed. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful.
I'd agree.
Should we mention also? Actually, no. Because this will be my X Factor, so I can talk about it right now. Because our next category is the X Factor. Haha! This is something about any of these translations that we talk about that just kind of sets it apart in our own minds or in our collections. Like, what does this book do that makes me go, "That's cool that book does that"? So, my X Factor for this book is the spine. Now that we have 3 of these, you can look on the spine. There's like a little castle tower on all the books, and there's a big 1, a big 2, a big 3. Obviously, this one has a big 3, but the height of the towers vary depending on the book. So the first one, the tower is really tall, but the number's at the bottom. The second one, the tower is really short, but the number's a little higher. This one, it's a medium tower, but the 3's even higher. So like the 1, 2, 3 kind of go up at a diagonal. And
it's
now
really
I'm wondering
cool
if they're going to continue the diagonal all the way up to the tippy top, or is it going to like go up and then come back down? I don't know. I don't know where the numbers on the spines are going to be. That should be the tease, like for the next volume, just like the spine. Because I would honestly, I would be excited about that, honestly.
Yeah, I love the spines of these.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I want to know Carly's X Factor. I've been holding mine in the whole episode.
So I've thought about several different things because I love this book. I love so many things about it. I was gonna say the ribbon bookmark just to watch you guys be like, there's not one.
Like, yours has a ribbon bookmark.
It would get caught and destroy some of the little fun things.
I know. But I wanted to watch you guys be so confused, like, what book did you get? But I started laughing and gave myself away. I'm torn between the teal of the book cover itself, because I love that color. And it's not a color we really see much on these books. Or how well saturated everything is. Like, this feels, this is a cloth cover and it's well saturated with the teal, but so is the pages. The pages are individually saturated very, very well. So I'm torn, is what it boils down to. So I think I'm going to choose both.
I'll allow it.
They tie.
Well, the X has 2 swipes, like this way.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
You can
So
have
naturally.
X factors.
I think I'm going to have to choose both. And I know the first 2 books they also have that wonderful page saturation with the ink. Like, that's nothing new for these. But I love, again, that they continued through it. Like, quality hasn't taken a hit here, even though the books have gotten thicker.
Mm-hmm. All right, are you ready for mine?
I am.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, so
I'm ready.
In all of these books, in the very back, there is an about the author and about the illustrator. And in Chamber of Secrets, in the about the author, it said that Harry Potter was translated into 80 languages. And now in this one, it says it's been translated into 85 languages. Like, that was within, was it within a year that the last one came out?
Yeah.
And now it says 85 languages. So I feel like that's like a very interesting like plot twist, isn't it?
Did we get 5 new languages between the Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban books? I don't think so.
Where are you citing your information that you're saying that is my question.
they're not. That's
Harry
the
Potter
answer.
7-book series, which has sold over 6 million copies in 85 languages.
Mm-hmm.
How?
Yeah, and I want to know
crazy.
what their list is. Show me the list. Show me the beast.
I know, that's what I want to know.
I'm actually curious where they
wanna
find their
know.
information.
Can you show me?
Because they can't just be like suddenly like,
All right, Tarzan.
oh, we have 5 more. We'll add these. And
I know, but
they
isn't
should
that
know
crazy?
about them. Yeah, they should know about
Where-
the other. They should know about them already. And what
Where
are
did
they?
you get that information from? Within a year.
we need to find out who at Scholastic writes that little
that
blurb,
thing.
and
Who
we
writes
need
that?
to talk to that person. We're going to talk to that person by email or snail mail or
We gotta find them.
telegram. We got to find them and find out
Fax. Beeper.
facts deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's it. That's the book. I think overall we gave it an outstanding for almost everything except that one smell
Yeah, mine
subjectivity.
smells
Melanie's
weird. Mine
different.
smells weird.
Melanie's must smell weird because mine does not.
No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe, I don't know. I don't.
I think your
I don't either,
Target
but-
had like someone who like tooted in the aisle or something right before you bought it and ruined it forever.
Oh gosh, and it got shrink wrapped into
I
Melanie's
mean, it
book.
was in plastic. Like, they're always in plastic when you buy them. So I don't know.
I don't know. Smell
It
can
was a
some smells
smelly
can be very
day at
strong.
the,
Smelly,
At the
smelly.
book department at
Smells.
Target.
Smelly. Guys, how many SpongeBob references did we
Anchovies.
have in this episode? So
Too many.
many.
Too
So
many.
many.
Um,
Oh my gosh.
I will end our Tots portion just by saying, please, if you like these books, get this. It's so cool. It really is super cool, and it's translated into other languages also. So you can probably find one if English is not your reading language of choice.
Yeah, they have a
Go
lot
get
of
it.
like
Go
this
get
has
it.
been translated. I wonder. I'm curious about the quality of the translations. I've not held one to know.
I don't know.
I'm
But-
gonna have to
Hashtag
find out and talk
goals.
about it at another time.
Well, if you do have this book in another language and you want to talk to us about it, there are plenty of ways that you could reach out to us to do so. You could always find Carly at All the Pretty Books, Erik at Nocturne Erik, or myself at the Harry Potter Collection on Instagram. We also have websites, alltheprettybooks.net, theharrypottercollection.com, dialoguealley.com. We have like a pretty easy form that you can fill out, and we've actually been getting some really cool feedback directly on our website from people that'll literally just type a little cool thing into our website and it gets emailed to us and we check all that stuff. So that's a really cool way that you can get in touch with us.
Yeah, we just
You
got
can-
one from a listener in Colorado, and it was a very nice message.
Yeah, so cool. So that's always an easy way that you can reach out to us. You can find us on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok. And you can always just keep listening to the podcast. We're on Apple, on Google, on Spotify, Pandora, Audible, I don't know, on all the things.
All
There
the
are
pretty things.
Just so many. There's just so many places that you can find us. I don't think I mentioned the fact that you can find this podcast at Dialogue Alley Podcast on Instagram. That's like one of the main things that you can find us at. But the last really cool place that you can find us is always on MuggleNet. We're a MuggleNet family podcast, so you could go to MuggleNet, you can look at their podcasts, and we're one of those. If you like what you are listening to, you can always support us a little bit further by joining us on Patreon. You could visit www.patreon.com/dialoguealley, and there are different tiers that you could support us on. It gives you access to our Discord where we do live listen-ins. We have someone listening in right now, which is super, super cool. We do that. We do like a little pre-show thing where we chat before we record, and everything is just very interactive. It's also a great resource if this is something that you're into and you want to know where you can buy these Harry Potter books in these different languages. We probably know someone that is in our Discord that can help you with that. So it's always a cool place for a chat. But I think with all of that being said, for this episode, it is now time to walk back through the archway and into our daily lives, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.